Tuesday, the 1st of January. First entry in Samuel Pepys' diary in... what was it? 1660. At 9:12 a.m. I felt dreadful with a terrible pounding headache. The house is an absolute tip, and I was carefully dodging half a dozen dead-looking people sprawled all over the sofa and carpets. There were empty and half-empty bottles, as well as food, party poppers, party hats, and patches of dried-up sick in the porch. I hope we never have a New Year's party like that ever again. It was almost as bad as our 2006 Christmas Eve party. One year went amazing without a single party. On the other hand, family arguments galore. The worst fight I can recall was over this very Cuddles and Friends diary. Of course, Mum explained that, oh, it was very nice of Great Auntie Maggie to give me this, but when will I ever have the time to write in it? And of course, Sophia just instantly goes, well, I'm not having that silly bear diary. Claudia, why don't you take it? Oh, Claudia says, oh no, I'm like Mum, I don't have enough time to write in something like that. Dad just went, no way, and turned away. As I can't bear it going to waste, and with as much delight and amusement, I took it. After everyone had gone to bed, Mum thanked me and said if I could be really famous one day. Well, I could be really famous one day. So, in theory, I could kind of give this away for a deserving charity or other. Yes, the SaveTheEdibleInsects.com is best, because those will probably be the only things to eat by the time I kick the bucket. Anyway, it looks like Samuel Pepys wrote his first entry in his diary in 1660, so it can't all be that bad. So apart from everything else, I'll have to record each day's events in this diary. Roll on 2008, see what it brings. Wednesday, the 2nd of January. Granada was recaptured from the Moors by the Spanish army in 1492. So happy I was not living in Granada in 1492. Even if I had survived, I'd be dead by now. Soon I'll be returning to my classmates at Appletown Comprehensive. But even if I decide to go, what will I do then? So, I looked at 2 websites. I first logged on to the Royal College of London. And I realised at my age I would only be able to do Saturdays. Then I saw Purcell School in Hertfordshire. There I would have to study 2 instruments, which would be piano, and I'd have to return to singing lessons because I don't know how to play anything else. So I would have to do 2 auditions, then get a written professional recommendation and pay an audition fee of £25. So I'd have to pass the first 2 auditions, and then I'll have to do another audition in the middle of the year. Wait, what? Let's just look at the pros and cons one more time. 4. No girlfriend. 2. I hate my sisters. 3. Dad is hardly ever home. He's either working or he's in the Black Bull. 4. I will not be missing Topsy. 5. I will only have James Robertson, Ben McKenzie, Paul Patterson, and occasionally Jason Hansen to hang around with. And against. 1. Mum's lovely cooking. 2. Mum's handiwork with my dirty clothes. I don't know how to use a washing machine. And I can't cook. I've only just mastered learning pancakes. So, sorry Purcell School. I'm going to have to stay at Appletown Comprehensive to do my A-levels. Thursday, the 3rd of January. Britain seized control of the Falkland Islands in 1833. Jeez, the Falkland Islands in 1833 must have been in a terrible state. Good old Britain. Then, 150 years later, Mrs. Lady Thatcher decided to send soldiers and sailors to make sure it kept hold of them. That's a very long time. Whatever possessed me to dedicate an entire piano composition to my sisters. I was just about to sit down and play it when Sophia decides to storm in and plays her grade 1 violin piece. She knew it wasn't taking that long to play and she could have just waited until I'd finished it. So I stormed out the room and decided to go in the other room. But Mum decided to have a good time watching the most watched clip on YouTube, which, ironically, was a 10-year-old girl playing a violin just as badly as Sophia does. Friday the 4th of January. Jacob Grimm was born in 1785. Although I shan't be reading the Grimm's fairy tales to either of my sister's children, only to my own. If I'm lucky, that is. God, I hate my sisters. Especially Claudia at this point. My today's entry will explain all. Why can Claudia cough and sneeze anywhere else? But no, she has to do it all over me while I'm trying to take... while she's asking me to take Topsy out for the morning walk. I'm so glad she's going to Truro to do that Save the Planet degree. Ugh! Sisters! When Topsy and I turned into Hillside Drive, we bumped into Tom Bradshaw, who was wearing these silver headphones and was playing modern jazz music. I knew this because I heard every note. So I go up to him and tap him on the shoulder and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, your music is way too loud for your ears." It just diverts the statement with, "Well, what is it any of your business what I do with my ears?" In the meantime, his Alsatian had promptly jumped on Topsy and in the process tangled up the leads. So, while me and Tom are trying to untangle the leads, we see Eustace Barry Monaghan walk up and goes, "Oh, can I help?" And get your dog away from me. I don't like it when dogs jump on me. And promptly stopped crying. Of course, Tom apologises and tells his dog Oscar to just get away from him. So we're still trying to untangle the leads. And then Mrs. Robertson, with a large half pint of large cider, walked out. She said, "Oh, leave it to me, lads. I know everything. About dogs. I have 2 of my own." What a relief she was home. I wish either Claudia or Sophia, or even better, both of them, were born a boy. Then I wouldn't be late for my piano lesson, which I was 20 minutes late at this point. Never late for anything unless I'm with Mum, Claudia, or Sophia. At 5:10 I got a text from James saying, "Hi Clarence, would you like to come over and do the Mario Kart Wii Mushroom Cup tomorrow?" I was thrilled. I sent a text back saying, "Hi James, that would be really sick. Clara." Saturday, the 5th of January. King Camp Gillette, invented the safety razor, was born in 1855. Hang on a minute. Oh, it won't be long before I have to start shaving myself. Good old Gillette. Nobody else was awake at 9:46 a.m. So I left for James's house and left a note on the table saying, "Gone to James's on my bike. X. Clara." And when I got there at 10:03 a.m. and I told him I was dreadfully sorry, but the wind blowing in my face had left me precisely 3 minutes late. He laughed and just said, "Oh, Clara." "So, what happened with you yesterday?" "My mum heard from Mrs. Clark, from Mrs. Robertson, about your little incident." "Oh, great. Now I suppose the whole town will know." So, me and James got on with playing Mario Kart Mushroom Cup, and he had a good time and enjoyed himself, smashing me hands down. By the time I got home, Chloe had already left for Truro, and my mum was just telling me about how both my sisters were arguing the toss over who was going to take Topsy out. So my mum ended up doing it herself. I told her I was sorry, but there wasn't anything I could do. Sunday, the 6th of January. Epiphany. Sigmund Freud was exiled to London after escaping Nazi persecution in 1938. God, he wouldn't have had a hope in hell than 1 year later. Anyway, all my homework had been left in one of my drawers with 2 days to go out of 2 weeks. So I dedicated my entire time completing my maths, music and geography. I'd never been so brain tired in my entire life. So I went to bed a little bit earlier than usual. Monday the 7th of January. The rock singer David Bowie was born today in 1947. I looked him up on the internet and found out that he was a really famous pop singer in the 70s, 80s and 90s. But he was also an actor, producer and an arranger. Such a versatile character. Today should have been at the start of the school year, or the school term. But no. For precious schooling days are lost because of an so-called inset day. I tell you, if I ever have children, I'll make sure they won't miss out and take them to some zoo or a museum.